Woo! Hello, everybody. Sure we're all good on the YouTubes. Waiting for TechteamGB. Well, you're not, are you? There we go. Receiving your content. Cool, thanks, YouTube. Right. There we go. Hello, everybody. How you doing? Hello, Stein. Hello, Alex. And hello, Harry. How are you all doing this week? Both viewers are waiting for you, Andrew. The pressure is real. Nice. Thanks, guys. Some of us. Hello! Ads starting on Twitch must mean showtime. Indeed. Have you been? Mixed. Not my worst, I'm not my best. Got a hot water bottle. Corsair sent me a free memory stick so that they can put a reviewer's guide on it instead of just emailing it to me. So that's fine. And yeah, other than that, usual. Hello Kev, and hello Chris, how you doing? Cool, I've got a sparkling water bottle. That's fancy. How's the job? Hello M, how you doing? Ooh, sparkling water. You water elitist, you. Well, I can't count, can I? Jeez. Doing good, awesome. Clearly. It's as if you think that I work with computers that do a very good job of counting. Oh, YouTube just told me that TechteamGB is now live. Better go watch him. Awesome. Welcome to the club. I just got a notification too. I'm doing on time for a change, by the way. Nice. Well done. Oh. This week's been kind of fun in the world of trying to like do any level of work. I can't tell you about our product because it doesn't launch until next week, but it's a keyboard from a manufacturer, and it is so first of all, the customization software didn't detect the keyboard, so I couldn't finish the video because I couldn't film or even just see what level of customization it had. And then I then tried to like finish that once I got a newer version of the software, only to find that the customization that I expected to be there wasn't, and then I had to contact the PR rep, who then took a day to be able to do that. So it took me about 4 days to do what would usually take me a day. But I finally finished that video, so that's great, and it's scheduled to go out next week. It's scheduled to go out at 2 PM Thursday, so there won't be a video on Wednesday, but there will be one on Thursday, so. But yeah, other than that, I've been trying to do, as you can maybe see there, I've been trying to the power measurements for RTX cards, and then so there's one video on how much power RTX cards draw, like a full system draws, which is why you see the watt meter there. And then there'll be a video a week or two later that's kind of what power supply I recommend for an RTX card. I would include Radeon 7 in that if I had one, but I don't. So how powerful are they? I haven't reviewed the footage yet, so I can't tell you. You'll have to wait and see for the video. But yeah, so the real fun thing, and the people in the Moneymen Discord will know that I said a swear word. So I was testing the cards. I was testing the 2060, 2070, 2080, and 2080 Ti. Now I started in the 2060 because that was the one that was already available or whatever. So I shoved it in, and I was using Battlefield 5 with RTX on because I wanted, you know, it's a RTX card. I want to be able to benchmark it with a RTX game and show you how much power it draws while doing RTX stuff. So yes, so I was using that. Got through the idle and the underload benchmark run in the 2060 fine. Swapped out for the 2070, which I had to pull from the Fantex Enthoo Evolve X because that was the card that I put in when I did the sort of build. But other than that, it was fine. Threw it in, did the benchmark perfectly. Threw in the 2080, still no problems. Threw in the 2080 Ti though, no problems with idle. But tried to launch Battlefield 5. Origin has decided that if you swap your graphics card more than 4 times in a 24-hour period, you must be a hacker, and therefore you must have that, only that game mind you, locked out from your account, of which you can now no longer play on any computer. And then when you contact Origin support, because, you know, you would expect that a program that a company writes, they would have, say, control over every aspect of that program. They tell you that because it's only one game and not an entire account that's been locked out by the security system, they can't do anything and you're just going to have to wait 24 hours. So yeah, I've been having fun with that. I finally did manage to do the literally one benchmark result that was left this afternoon, evening though, so I suppose that was something. Yeah. Yes, Chris, exactly. But hello, Riley, watching from Afghanistan still. Glad that your, like, whatever 2 meg connection is still holding up. I'd recommend a cheap PSU because that's all you have a budget for. Lol. Yeah. I mean, yes, fair enough. Any news on upcoming Ryzen CPUs? Nope. I do not know anything other than, well, actually, I don't really know anything at all, really. But yeah, no, I don't know anything, and if I did, I'd be under NDA, probably. So unless it's rumors that you've already seen, get a used 1500, get a used 1050 watt power supply for £60 on eBay. That sounds like a very bad idea. Speaking of power supplies, actually, this one's dead. I took it apart. I couldn't see anything immediately wrong, and with my basic multimeter, I couldn't determine any problems with it. It has had a bit of a knock on the corner, and it's bulge. But other than that, it's like a 300 watt, super cheap, as you can tell by the cables, power supply. So yeah, I'm not that fussed. I did kind of want to plug it back in with it open because I'm clearly a moron, and check if it still has the 5 volt continuous, as in, so you've got, I don't know what the wiring, the color code for the wiring of this particular power supply is, but you have 12 volts, 5 volts, 5 volts continuous, so as long as it's plugged in, you'll get 5 volts at normally about 2 to 5 amps total output, and then you have 3.3 and minus 12 volts. Minus 12 volts is mostly just the signal wire, or to give the for stuff like op amps on your motherboard, but it's a fairly low current overall rail. But yeah, so might have a play and see if that works, because then in theory I could turn, if it still functions in some regard, then I could turn it into a sort of semi-lab bench power supply with 12 volt output, 5 volt output, minus 12 if you really need it, and 3.3 if you need it as well. So yeah. Hello Hampstead, how you doing? At least it's only like 24 hours. I've had my fair share of dealing with PayPal support this week, or as I like to call, pay acquittance from now on. Well, Nice. Quick video production question. What lights do you use for filming? He uses RTX on for lighting. God damn it. I use Godox LED 500 LC. C 500C. It's the flat panel. They're about £100 each, and I would generally recommend getting they're over there. The Sony batteries that go with it. It requires 2 per light, but you can pick up a pack of the. I picked up a pack of RAV Power batteries, a pack of 2 with a USB charger for them for like 20 quid. So you'll need a stand for them. I would recommend when you get a stand, get a reasonably sized tripod head, just because I got some really tiny, like the £2 each kind of ones, and they were pretty horrifically naff. They just flop a lot, so I at some point, because I keep forgetting, need to buy the same tripod heads that I've got for the Vive lighthouses. They're a bit bigger, a bit bulkier, so yeah. Riley, have you got a chance to use or try the new Samsung Galaxy Buds? I have not. I don't really work all that much in the mobile space. I also don't work with anyone like Samsung, at least for phones anyway. I work with them for SSDs, and I'd like to work with them for monitors, but nah. So yeah, unfortunately not. I've not actually tried any of those kind of, you know, Bud styles. I've got the Jaybird X3s, which I really like. Obviously they've still got a wire in between them rather than a, you know, just this bit. But I do highly recommend these. They're very nice, sound quality's great, and especially the ear support means they're pretty good for active, like, you know, going for a run or bike ride or whatever else. Although they are a little bit bulky, but again, the support helps with that. So yeah. I know that Creative actually have launched some interesting ones, and a friend and fellow YouTuber called Totally Dubbed HD, he's actually got the first pair in Europe, I think. So he'll have a review of those at some point. So yeah, check that out. I think they're £70 rather than like 150 or whatever the Galaxy or AirPod ones are. So yeah. That thing you're pointing at, I wouldn't really call a tripod, more like a beam. Yes, that is a pole, but it has a tripod head on it. Would you go for Vega 64 for £360 and pair it with a FreeSync monitor, or go for a 2070 with a G-Sync monitor, with the 2070 being £450? So 2070 gives 1080 levels of performance. Vega 64 and 1080 are fairly similar. Generally speaking, now that NVIDIA have done the driver update, which allows FreeSync monitors, the vast majority of them, to work with NVIDIA graphics cards, I would generally recommend heading for a FreeSync monitor that does have some level of support for G-Sync. That would be my personal recommendation. It would save you about £100 to £400 depending on which category you're going for there. So yeah, that would be what I'd recommend. Yeah, so 2070 probably. Although I mean, if you're going with Wapted's suggestion, then if you're going for like a used card, then you could get potentially the same level of performance, but for just shy of half the price. What's the pros and cons versus having pros versus cons for having a water-cooled system for a long time? So Riley, can I clarify? Do you mean like full custom water-cooled, like having a like GPU water block as well as a CPU water block, or do you more mean water-cooled in terms of like an all-in-one liquid cooler? Because they're quite different. I assume you mean Custom, cool. So yeah, as Watson mentioned, the biggest downside is maintenance, right? So when you introduce water into anything, you end up being in a position where stuff gets in the water, and then it's, you know, even if you fill it up with distilled water or whatever else, you're still going to have a significant amount of microbes in there, which do gunk up quite regularly. It also depends on what style you've gone for custom. So if you've just gone with straight up distilled water, then you're generally a little bit easier in terms of longevity. But if you've gone with a colored, you know, like a dyed distilled water, then that dye can also be quite a big, you know, kind of thing that gunks your system up. The other thing is that rubber perishes over time. Obviously, depends on how well you fitted it and all that sort of stuff. But if you there is a chance that it can spring a leak later on, and therefore that can be a problem. But obviously the pros are that you get a likely significantly cooler overall system, which means that generally speaking your parts are more likely to last longer. They're also more likely to be able to be more heavily overclocked. With that said, nowadays a lot of the limitations aren't necessarily thermal limitations like they really used to be. Rather, it's more the fact that the process nodes are getting so small that if you crank up the clock speeds too high or the voltage is too high, you start to get a lot of errors and issues that make them unstable. So, but especially in the side of graphics cards, you could be looking at a somewhat reasonable performance increase from the fact that the graphics card also overclocks a fair bit, and therefore you get. But it bases that on its power, the power limitations of the input that it can have, as well as also the thermal limitations. So if you remove or reduce that thermal limitation, then in theory you get a bit of a bigger headroom for better performance. But yeah, my system's on the floor. It gets gunked up so badly in just a week. Joys of student accommodation. Yeah, good luck. So, I mean, to give you context, I ran a custom water cooling loop for probably a year and a half to 2 years. Didn't clean it or top it up once, and had no problems. It was actually a dyed solution, if I remember rightly. Blue dye, pretty sure. I think blue coolant. Yes, yeah, it was, because it's the phobia stuff. But yeah, so it can be fine and it can last for a long time. Personally, I prefer hardline water cooling for style reasons mostly. It does mean that if anything breaks, you're going to have a pretty hard time getting it in and out, unless you go with quick disconnect fittings and soft tubing, but then you run into the issue of style, because when you water cool a system, you often go for style as well as performance, but disconnect fittings are not the best looking things. Building a ventilation system is rip. It throws out dust at the vents. Nice. Oh, actually, I tried to do something else do some work this week, funnily enough, which was benchmarking Apex Legends as well as Battlefield 5 with the with the RTX cards and or the RTX 2060. I wanted to see how well the RTX 2060 using the newer NVENC streams. I tried to stream to Twitch, as you may have seen, maybe, I don't know, throughout like during the week, but the clips that I downloaded from Twitch were pretty awful. So I switched to local recording to do the testing so that I would have a usable file that's not the Twitch VOD that's awful. So that worked for Battlefield 5, which was great. Apex Legends, even though the actual game was fine to play, the recording of it was a like 10 FPS at best, kind of horrific mess, and I really don't know why. And then I restarted the system. I think I went to have dinner or something, came back, tried to do it again, and then OBS just refused to screen cap or record Apex Legends in any form. The game capture wouldn't work, desktop capture wouldn't work, just everything. And then I tried windowed mode, like windowed full screen, and even just full on windowed mode, and that worked, but the recording was still awful. So I'm still trying to troubleshoot what the hell is wrong there. And I'll get back to you when I do, but that's probably going to be next week. Riley only asked because my brother was looking for a main gear Fibby custom Warsco PC. Right, that's expensive. I mean, fair play. It's certainly, I don't know how main gear do it. I would doubt that they would give it pre-filled. I would expect that what they'll do is give you they'll ship you the system and ship you whatever coolant you've chosen, normally colored coolant. So super long term, never want to look at it again usage. That's definitely not what I would recommend for someone who doesn't want to ever look inside, kind of thing. Let alone, you know, drain a loop and flush a loop. It's definitely a more enthusiast thing. So yeah, I agree with Ish. AIO for easy mode, easy clap. Yeah. I have an AIO at the moment, actually. I mean, I have plenty, but I have one in my actual system. I'm quite excited because tomorrow I get to go and drive a BMW M4 on a track. I'm happy. I've been using my racing wheel to drive around the track a bit too much. And then I've turned off all of the, you know, like the racing line that you get in project cars. I've turned that off so that I can actually work it out in my head where I need to be rather than just following a line. I'm a bit competitive. It's a problem. What's which Porsche? Like Boxster, Cayman, Cayenne. I don't know why you'd barely use that because that's a, you know, people wagon. 997 turbo, nice. My dad used to have a 964, the old track, the old the last air-cooled model, which was cool. That was always funny because in most Porsches the spoiler comes up at AC for mostly aerodynamic reasons, but some portion of that is Porsche. Some portion of that is a for cooling the engine and pushing air into the engine bay. But because my dad's engine was air cooled, the 964 body, that spoiler came up at 40, which was always fun to see. Donington, Kev. Porsche Carrera, you spelled it wrong, from the late 90s. Brother wants to buy a brand new Porsche to replace his Audi A6. Okay. I mean, tell him to get an S4 Avant, but hey. Is it a Carrera 2 or Carrera 4? If you know. You still own an M6, enjoy it, man. I'm buying a 2019 Cadillac CTS-V when I get home. Nice! I've heard they're pretty good. Not not had much experience with many American cars, but from what I understand, the CTS-V has fairly significantly improved over time, and to now I think is a pretty impressive car. I'm sure that Doug DeMuro has done a review on it at some point. Probably not the 2019 model, but one of them. Oh, fair play. Enjoy. Harry E63, is that what you have? Did I miss something? Only drive a Porsche Carroro. Nice. The spoilers are just pointless for road use, but RGB, I suppose. Lol, why are main gear even custom looping a Ryzen 3 2200G? Are they? That's weird. Do you see a Sandero at the moment? How the mighty have fallen. Nice. On the turbo, the spoiler goes up for more aerodynamic. Oh, right, yeah. Yeah. I mean, my dad's one had a spoiler that went up. I would like one. I have an E3500. Right, nice. As in E3500 Merc? Roberts, hi, what do you think of the Asus Z390 ROG Maximus Formula 11? I don't know. Generally, the Formula boards are pretty good. They're normally pretty good for overclocking. Let's have a look. Let's have a quick check. Maximus, that one. Formula. You. Oh man, it looks fancy. Got custom water cooling, but got an EK block built in if you care. Kind of strange PCIe slot layout. That's a really big M.2 heatsink. But yeah, I mean, it looks fine. As I said, they're normally pretty good overclockers. They're normally pretty stable. Their BIOSes are generally alright, so yeah. Full bolts on and tune. Full bolt-ons and a tune to the CTS-V adds 152 wheel horsepower, making it 700-ish. And it's a great daily. It's how I get away with convincing the girlfriend to let me keep my toy due to it being a sedan. She sees race car, I see fast daily, I can put a family in. Nice. The S4 Avant that I really shouldn't be thinking about it, but I kind of am. Is only a measly V6, but it's a supercharged V6 that at stock does 330 horsepower, four-wheel drive, which is great. But with a supercharger pulley mod and a tune, you get 480. That's not bad for as you guys would call a wagon. TechteamGB. TechteamGT. Well played. Do it. Well, no, but I'm 22. Do you know how much the insurance is for the stock version, let alone the modded one? It's about as much as the car. But no, seriously, it's like $2.5 grand to insure me on the S4, which if I had what I assume is good money from, say, DoD defense contracts, then hey, I'd go for it. But I'm living the small YouTuber life, and it's not overly lucrative. It's fun, just not overly lucrative. The Porsche is 470 brake horsepower. Nice. Don't insure. That's a very quick way to get a very, very expensive police ticket. or a free ride to prison. One of the two. My insurance is £1,000 this year because I got a fine. Oof. I mean, mine's 800 for a 125 horsepower Volvo, so... Well, was last year now. RGB wheelchair. Well, if the free ride is in the Porsche, I'll call it a valet driver. What Volvo? S40, 1.8. Mum has a V50. I essentially have the same thing, but without the back. And I've replaced most of it. Just wait till you're having a, quote, married life. Seemingly got a 15% bonus, not seen a scruff of it. Yeah. Does cohabitation count? Mine's 300. For what car? And you're 18, right? How? Mum has a V40, Dad has an XC70. Ah, fair play. I keep, every time I try and, oh, you're 20 now? Then, wow, time has flown. Jesus. I mean, I've been streaming for 2 years, I think. Yeah. Or it'll be 2 years in August. I've been streaming for 1.5 years. That's nuts. £200 fully comp and 155ml car. Nice. That's not bad. What motherboard do you recommend for the 900K? Well, the formula that you mentioned is certainly a good shout. Really, anything that can handle about 180 to 200 watts through it. Jura mentioned the 8. Did I say it wrong? The Z390 Meg is not bad. A lot of people do like that, but at the same time, I do quite like MSI's BIOSes, but then it also, depending on which one, it was horrifically expensive. So, yeah. Did use a GTX 690 as a fidget spinner? Well, sometimes when I get low, I remember that no matter what, a woman might leave me, but my computer, my car, and my dog never will. Lol. Nice. And it is when you're 50. I mean, fair play. Well, so E3500, is that the 5 litre? Or is that the 3.5 litre? No, because they change their names, don't they? Because like C200 is a 2 litre. It's a 3 litre. Okay. I don't know that I know. Yeah. Anyway, are you trying to guess Chris's Are you trying to guess Chris's age? Oh, 2 seconds. I'm back. Enough. Nice. A year 2004 human. That's crazy. That's nuts. Half my age, damn, I'm old. Starman, only if an Amazon by Amazon parcel you mean my partner that I accidentally locked out, then yes. Specs on your rig, it's a Ryzen 2700 or 2700 non-X, overclocked to 4 GHz. Corsair Vengeance Pro RGB because they sent it to me and it looks really nice. 32 gigs of 3000 megahertz, I think. Is it running at 3000 megahertz though? Yes, it is. I think it's C16 RAM. GTX 1080, it's the 11 gig memory one, an Aorus X470 Gaming 7 Wi-Fi. WD Black 1TB NVMe SSD, Corsair H100i Pro, a 2TB Seagate FireCuda, and a 2TB Barracuda, with the FireCuda being my game drive and then the Barracuda being my editing drive. And then a Corsair ML fan and a Cooler Master MF? Yeah, Masterfan 120. Riley, no, not really. The CPU I'm pretty happy with. The GPU I'm also fairly happy with for the moment. And the reason that I have a 1080 and not anything else is mostly availability. I only have, so I'm only really willing to commit a card to my rig if it's one that I won't need back, and I have another one. So I have two 1080s, so I can use one for testing, but one for myself. But because it's not very easy to get stuff in and out of there, and generally speaking, I spent like 3 years swapping stuff in and out of my rig. So I've been there, done that. I kind of just like leaving it alone. So unless I can get, say, a second 2080 Ti to keep, then generally speaking, I don't plan on upgrading it. Yeah. Hello, Nath. How you doing? Also, Gavin, possibly hit me up on Twitter, probably. Forever slacking. Assassin's Creed Odyssey has taken me. Terrible. I mean, fair enough. See you, Evan. Stein, no, not quite. GTX 1080s for poor people anyway. Hashtag NVIDIA. Thanks, Wapted, with your 1080 Ti? Is that right? And nice one, Luca. GT 1030 8-way SLI. Oh, normal 1080. Right, fair enough. 1080 Ti gang. Pricey though, weren't they? Weird. R9 Fury gang. You weirdo. Was a 290X, wasn't it 2? Yes, you are, Nath. I mean, at least you're loyal. God damn it, Sting. I had plans, but 2 Fury sounded more appealing. Lol, fair play. Accidentally, thanks, Mac. Loyalty and bundles. Would be upgrading from the 1700X to a 9900K be worth it? As would need the motherboard also. So what resolution are you, I assume, gaming at? Thank you, Luca. Thank you, Luca. 4K. So at 4K, your GPU is really the main bottleneck. What GPU do you have? And are you just gaming? Are you doing, say, video editing or 3D modeling or anything else? Or is it just gaming? Probably F7. Buy things, Andy. Yes. Do I really need to upgrade the stock cooler from Ryzen 2600X, etc.? Unless you're planning on overclocking it, no, you're fine. And to answer Robert, so I assume you've probably just bought the 2080, so it might be a bit of a hard one to recommend, but I would expect that you would see a much bigger performance difference with a 2080 Ti over buying a new CPU and motherboard. Of course, you can still go with the CPU and motherboard, that's fine, but at 4K, really your GPU is the limit there. So it depends how recently you have purchased the card, and if you can you know, return it or not. I would say that's probably also for at very least the Discord, if not the Moneyman chat. And what was I going to say? No, Chris. But Luca, I'd love to buy a t-shirt with your logo pocket-sized on a pocket and big on the back. And maybe TechteamGB on the arm. So arm I'm not too sure about. I know that there is an option on Teespring for all overs, although I don't know if that's quite a thing. I'll have a look. If you ping me a message or like tag me on Discord later on, I will have a look and see what we can do. I had the 2080 since January, and can you return it as I've used it? So I mean, probably not. That's probably more only return if it's defective. I mean, so as I said, if you want the most performance, then the 2080 Ti will be a better shout for you. But yes, that's. I mean, I don't think that, especially at 4K, I don't think that the GPU would give you much. The CPU upgrade, sorry, would give you much performance extra. So, up to you. Hello, Umar and Kingadan SSD. I don't know what a Kingadan SSD is. If you mean Kingston, then definitely sure. Kingadan, if it's like it's a Chinese brand, then questionable. Did you design some new t-shirts? Yes, I did. In fact, while I remember, or while I'm reminded, let's have a look, shall we? Shall we? Ooh. And screen cap didn't want to work. Cool. So the usual one is that don't ask me for tech support, I don't be gaming. This is the new one. I really keep meaning to buy one, but I really like it. It's the sort of circuit board design with just the normal logo, which me likey. There's nothing on the back, but it's cool, and you can get it in a t-shirt, or if you're in the USA, because apparently they don't ship them, you can get these really cool die-cut stickers, which is cool. I like. Awful. Thank you, Robert. No worries. Hope you you know, get some good performance. Is the sticker meant to upgrade any regular hoodie to a TechteamGB hoodie? I don't know how that's how it works, but sure, why not? Also, Nathan, you designed this. I don't know why there's 2 sets though. I need to remove 1 set. There you go. Iron-ons. RX 580 in 2019 budget, good buy or not? Yeah, pretty sure. The 1660 Ti, I think that's a fairly similar price, although I can't remember. Let me check Amazon. So that's not how you spell 1660 Ti. Is £300-ish. I mean, you can get a super like cheap one for 260, but a reasonable one is sort of like 280. Yeah, so call it 280 versus an RX. That's an RX 580, which is 100. Wow, that's a lot cheaper than I expected. So there's an MSI one for 196, so 80 quid cheaper, pretty similar performance. That sounds like a bit of a no-brainer to me. I mean, when you start looking at like the Strix one for 250, that's a bit of a take, really, in it. But for 2 to 220, probably still. Yeah. Awesome logo t-shirt, thanks. I mean, I still have my, like, the original one. Which, by the way, I found that it has a, there's a little buttonhole on the inside. Like, it's sewn and everything, but it's on the inside of the pocket. And I don't understand why that's there. Get the cheapest 1660 Ti or 580 budget cards. Aim for the best bang for buck. Yeah, I mean, generally, there's a relative there's a kind of there's super budget, and then there's just above budget, which is normally what you should aim for, and then there's the like crazy ones. But yeah. God damn it. For the pass-through cable. So when you cool, you can pass your earbuds through. But why? You can clip it to your belt so when you stretch, you don't reveal your stomach. But it's too high for that. Is it to attach your trousers so they don't fall down? It's for water cooling. The memes. God damn it. No return hole though. It's just a feed tube. But from where? Oh dear. What are you guys like? She'll never surrender. Andrew, don't you dare give in. Oh dear. Thanks, F7. Oh shit, super chat for it. You mean you're gonna make yourself even more broke? Oh god damn it. Speaking of super chats and all that jazz, you should go check out Kev. He's Clicked Tech UK. He's an awesome patron. And also makes cool tech videos. If the 14 of you that are watching now haven't already subscribed to Kev, actually 13 of you because one of them is Kev, then go do that. Oh. Oh dear. Wait. That came through like a full half a, well, like, I don't know. Why did... So, just to give you context, because there's delay and stuff. Chris's super chat came through on screen before it came through on the chat window, but Stein's super chat came in after Chris's on screen. Like, that was the wrong way around. What? Weird. And that's what I have in my wallet. Well paid. Last day for the Mod Mic wireless giveaway. Nice. If you want a chance to win a pretty cool wireless mic, then feel free. Illuminati confirmed. But no, seriously, thank you to all the patrons. You guys are awesome. I tend to not do too much, but with the Patreon money, but you know, when I do, it's very helpful to have. So thanks, guys. I think unless someone super chats it against you, you're obliged to do Jar Jar. Dear, what a day. Actually, out of interest, right? You guys are all here. Let's have a look through Banggood, because they keep emailing me saying, "Hey, we want you to like review stuff," but then they never really say what I should review. So, does anyone have any suggestions? And or so like I kind of like this kind of thing. So, like, would anyone be interested in seeing a video on this, or is there anything else that you? Because this is essentially like the baby Mavic Pro, but even more baby and way cheaper, and from a not so thingy brand. 3D printer. I already did one, so yeah. Janky Arduino contraption. I also already did that. Not quite, Starman. Umar, thank you. Gaming PC versus Xbox One. I mean, that's pretty simple. If you want simplicity or the exclusives that the console provides, then go for that. Otherwise, if you want the customizability and the versatility of a PC, then go for that. Hydromax? Is this going to be a troll? Apparently not. They'll ship from thingy. They'll ship from normal for me. Ah. No, Jesus, no, go away. Yeah, I mean, is there anything you want to see? They have fairly limited budget in terms of what they're willing to give me though. So like, you know, if I wanted a Huawei watch, I suppose, or this is an awful web page. Like the slow loading is just terrible. But like, if I wanted an actual phone, which I like mobile phones, like I don't think that they would give me a 6T, for example, which would be great. But yeah, MateBook X. Again, I don't. I don't have that Fimi X8. Oof, that's pricey. Looks interesting though. Again, it's probably too much for them to send over though. make a video about mining cards versus game cards. So I don't have. So mining cards versus game cards is pretty simple, right? Don't buy a mining card, unless you want to spend like countless hours trying to break it to make it work. But yeah. On a watch. Current one is from a ferry. I mean, how much is it, right? Like Huawei 139. Well, that's possible. That one's possible. Okay. Sure. I'll ask. How to overclock CPU GPU? So GPU 1 is one that A, I'm not all that familiar with, and B, is something that I, generally speaking, it's more, GPU boost handles that pretty well. CPU overclocking, really the only ones that you can do these days properly are Intel ones, and generally speaking, they're already much better, more qualified people. I've tried in the past and done that, but yeah. Orange Pi support. Okay, right. Yeah, and cool them properly. I mean, that's kind of interesting. Do you know whereabouts he is? I know he was in the UK, but don't know. I can't remember whereabouts. Don't think of it as pricey, think of it as an amazing device I could use to fly out of the upstairs window and look down at my significant other the next time I look out. Nice. Hello Joe, how you doing? Yeah, I more mean like what city and or like county he's in. Just to know if it's like within reasonable driving range. Let me just. There we go. Asked. I'm good, running a video at the moment. Been a bit nuts recently. I've now got 32 videos in my library to try and see me through the year. 28 of them are just random tech products. Nice. 32 videos done but not published. I mean, that's more than I do. Oh, move the chat. There we go. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos done, and I'll have another one done tomorrow, maybe. Although one will go out tomorrow, so then I'll have back to 5 videos. Thanks, Harry. Which city are you from? From Glasgow. Live Nottingham area. Fair play, Joe. Fair play. Good use of time. I've got 1 editing and about 10 unfinished and 12 planned. Never. Fair. And fair play, Robert. Right, anyone have any last minute questions before we disappear? Like literally last minute. Terrible. How's life? Painful, slightly depressing, and kind of fun. Can we get a DLC for this lunch stream? I mean, for me personally, Kev, it's because I have a schedule to meet, so mostly I'm happy to just live on the schedule that I've made for myself. Or loot boxes. What's the thoughts on the 1660 Ti? Yeah, it's okay. Seems to be a little bit better value than the rest of the RTX cards, but yeah. Cool, nice, Kevin. But yeah, right. I will catch you guys next week. Hope you guys have an awesome week. Hopefully my driving thing won't be too rainy tomorrow. Yeah, got actually a pretty amazing value CPU cooler. It's an air cooler tomorrow. PC Specialist RTX laptop on Monday, and then the keyboard that didn't talk about on Thursday at 2 p.m. So yeah, cool. I will catch you guys later.